1, 2, 3.
Ready. Newsstand versus Newsletter embarks on a journey of a classic wrestling year. Were the PWI readers accurate with their assessment of talent? Were the Wrestling Observer newsletter subscribers more right than wrong? Join longtime friends Scotty and Andrew as they talk about Newsstand versus Newsletter.
Welcome to another episode of Newsstand versus Newsletter. I am your host, the future Hall of Famer Scotty B. My co-host in here, Mr. Aaron, no last name needed. There he is, big guy. He's got his shirt on. His boy.
Yeah.
His boy. Yeah, here's a big fan. Let me put my headphones in here. I got my headphones on, but they're not hooked in. Like I'm like a weirdo here. You pretty excited for that Kyler Murray thing?
What?
Oh, I guess he wants a bunch of money. It's like, dude, you're not even that good. Fuck you, like, fucking idiot. I'm gonna. It's funny about it. And I'm recording it, but people will appreciate this who watch football. His agent puts out this big thing about I want to buy, like it's all professional, but he misspells choose in the thing. I'm pretty sure you should have someone maybe proofread that before you send it out and ask for $200 million. So anyway, we are going into the year 1980.
What do we do here?
Pardon me?
What do we do here?
What do you mean what we do here?
What's Newsstand versus Newsletter? Because it's possible there's some new listeners.
There could be by the time it's well. We review the I do Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards, and you do the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, or in this situation, Sports Review. And we compare them, and we just kind of go over the year, talk about sports and TV shows, and have some fun little halftime shows. So make sure you subscribe, put the notification bell on, and put a comment in there. We got our first comment after, 8 months or so? Was it?
Yeah.
But part on me. I wasn't putting it up properly. I should have been putting up Pro Wrestling Illustrated Awards and stuff like that. Because once I did that, people started watching our stuff. I'm like, oh, wait a second.
They're crazy.
Very simple. What's going on here? What's this all about? What's he doing here? So mid podcast just goes and does his own thing. Oh.
Let me tell you, brother.
Oh,
I love LaParca. I'm a LaParca fan.
By the time he sees this, it's going to be like 3 months down the road. What the fuck is wrong? He's not going to know what you're talking about. It's like when I comment on something on YouTube and someone responds 6 months later, I'm like, I don't know.
That's the only way to go.
It was like 3 a.m. when I fucking wrote that on a random night, so I don't know what's about it. But anyway, that's what we do. So this week we're doing 1980, which is a pretty fun, weird year. Because the way we usually do it is we say, hey, what were you doing this time? Well, you were not even born yet when it started.
I was born. This is the year that I came to be. Half the year I was in the womb, the other half I was out.
So you weren't doing a whole lot of anything this year.
I remember it well.
Yeah, just drinking a lot of milk.
All of these awards.
Drinking a lot of milk. I was 2, so I don't fucking know. I have no 22. Idea what it. Pardon me?
22, weren't you?
22. I aged very well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. A lot of probably crawling, learning how to walk. But I'll tell you a funny story with myself, and it might have been this time frame. Probably a little bit later. So my parents got me out of the over the crib thing and into the bed. I guess they got my own bed, and it was whatever time of night, and my sister goes to the door, and there's some man standing. I'm in my pajamas, and she's like, "Yeah, Scott's at the door with some man." My mother comes out, like, "What the hell?" Brings it. I walked out of the fucking house. I walked out of my bed, down the road, which is that's thinking back. That's some dangerous shit, dude. Not being hit by a car, yeah.
You wanted out of there.
Yeah, I wanted it. I knew it was coming. I want the hell out of there. So we're going to hop right into sports then, because, nothing really going on about 1980 for us. This is a fun one. I already told you this, but the fans of ours, all 70-80s, will enjoy this. So we're going to start with the NFL. 1980 NFL draft was on April 29th, in April 30th, 1980, when they had like 19 fucking rounds back then. They had a lot of rounds back then. Detroit Lions select running back Billy Sims of the University of Oklahoma. I've heard that name vaguely. I think he was like okay.
I don't know.
I mean, anyway. All right. Best record in the NFL that year. 3 teams had the same record, 12-4.
I'm going to guess Philly.
You got one.
Pittsburgh.
Nope.
Raiders.
Nope.
I don't know.
Cowboys and Falcons. Pittsburgh was starting to kind of drop off a bit then in 80. They were big 70s, but by the time 80 rolled around, they were starting to drop off a bit. The worst record in the league.
Was it Green Bay?
New Orleans Saints 1-15 when they were in New Orleans. And you know who their quarterback was?
Archie Manning.
It was Archie Manning, yeah. And the Super Bowl, the Oakland Raiders beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And for awards, let's see if we know any of these guys. Brian Sipe, quarterback for Cleveland, never heard of him. Chuck Knox, Buffalo, yeah. Earl Campbell's Offensive Player of the Year, heard of him. Lester Hayes, cornerback for Oakland, was Defensive Player of the Year. Billy Sims, Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year was Buddy Curry and Al Richardson for both linebackers from Atlanta. That's pretty impressive. Man of the Year, Harold Carmichael from wide receiver in Philly. You know who that is? You ever see that guy? No. Fucking huge, man. He was like 6'6" or something. Like, he was massive. Comeback Player of the Year, Jim Plunkett for the Raiders, and Super Bowl MVP was Jim Plunkett for the Raiders. MLB, best record and worst record.
Was it Cincinnati?
Yankees, 103-59. Worst record. Exact same, but it's opposite. That's the worst record.
Was it the Mets?
Seattle Mariners, 53-103. In the World Series, the Philadelphia Phillies beat the Kansas City Royals 4-2. Interesting thing about that, the Royals played the Yankees like 3 championship series, and never beat them. They had it took them 3-4 tries to do it. So, and they got beat pretty bad that World Series, I think. Okay, this is just batting average, home runs. Best batting average was George Brett for KC. 390 was his batting average for the year. That's a pretty good batting average. Bill Buckner for the Cubs.
Huh.
He does not remember for that. Home runs, Reggie Jackson and Ben Oglieve, 41 apiece. Mike Smith for Philly in the National League at 48. Cecil Cooper had the most RBIs at 122. Mike Schmidt at 121. Wins, Steve Stone at 25. Steve Carlton at 24. Let's see here. Listen to this. Stolen bases. Ron LaFleur, 97. Stolen bases of the year. Ricky Henderson, 100. Yeah, pretty crazy.
When did he start?
He must have been that year. I thought, because he played for a long time. He always looked young. Looked young.
If I had all the money in the world and you could have a time machine and you could do this and you can create your ultimate baseball team, he's my leadoff guy.
Oh fuck yeah, incredible! Because once he got on, he was getting at least a third. I mean, he was ridiculous. He was unreal. Maybe in his first year, it was either that. I think it was his first year anyway. NBA best record and worst records.
Lakers.
Boston 61-21. Worst record.
Golden State.
Pistons 16-66. I did it backwards when I wrote it down. Lakers beat the 76ers 4-2 in the finals. And
good year to be a sports fan.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a second. Most valuable player, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the Lakers. Rookie of the year, Larry Bird for the Boston Celtics. He ended up being okay.
Yeah.
And Bill Fitch was the coach of the year for the Boston Celtics. Last but not least, the NHL. Before we get into it, I'm going to announce in this year, because it's 79-80, they put 4 new teams in. Can you guess the 4 teams?
Was it Edmonton, Quebec, Winnipeg, and Hartford?
You are correct, but you're slightly incorrect because it was not Hartford. It was New England Whalers back then.
Oh, okay.
But Boston made them change it to Hartford because it was fucking around. Best record.
Islanders?
Flyers 48-12-20. And worst record.
Blackhawks?
Colorado Rockies
Oh yeah.
Formerly the Kansas City Scouts, and now the New Jersey Devils. 1948-13. The Islanders beat the Flyers at 4-2 in the finals. So as everyone can hear this, Philadelphia had every major sports team in the finals that year and only won one. But I will say, because I'm a big baseball guy, that World Series was big to them. That would probably be bigger than the Super Bowl, to be totally honest. Man,
in 80, I would say.
Yeah, like, not now.
Post, 92, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they were big on that because it was the first win since 1909 or something crazy. Let's go through a couple words. Art Ross, Marcel Dion, Bill Masters, Al McAdam. Okay. Calder Trophy, Ray Bourque for Boston. Conn Smythe, Brian Trotter for the Islanders. Obviously, they won. Hart Trophy, Wayne Gretzky. First year in the league gets the Hart Trophy.
Well, he had a couple in WHA.
Well, I know, but this is first in the NHL. And yeah, that's it. So that's an interesting sports. That's cool but with Gretzky, shit, his first year in the league. And did he really look up his stats for 79-80 for me real quick? Because I'm curious what his stats were then. Because I didn't think he lit them right up.
All right.
My phone cracked. The back of my phone cracked. It sucks. It dropped.
Yeah, he did all right. He had 51 goals, 86 assists for 137 points.
First year in the league. That's unheard of, man. That's wild, eh? That's nothing compared to what he did later. He tears it up in 83, 84. Over 200 points.
His best year, which is so crazy to think. That's when he had 92 goals, 120 assists for 212 points.
92, but late, thing is, late 80s, early 90s, guys were really killing it in the goal scoring department. Solani got 76 his first year, or Korea?
Nope, Solani.
Yeah, 76 his first season. That's wild. That's crazy. It's almost like when you look now with quarterbacks in the NFL, they're kind of like the hockey players were back then, where quarterbacks have these crazy first years, like Mahomes, and then even Burrow and them guys. Somebody got hurt. All right, so we're going to jump in last before we start the show. We're going to go to top 5 albums, TV shows, and movies.
That was top 10.
Decade. No, that's our halftime. This is just of the year.
Okay.
So we'll start with movies. Did you want to guess, or just want me to write them off?
I'll guess. I'll guess what the number one is.
That's fair enough. What's number 1?
Empire Strikes Back.
It is correct, sir. Yes. So number 5, I shouldn't go that. When we get to TV shows, I'm going to do 5 and let you guess 1 because I kind of gave it away. Number 5 is Any Which Way. Number 4, Kramer versus Kramer. Number 3 is Stir Crazy, which is actually a good movie. Number 2 was 9 to 5, and then Star Wars. TV shows. Number 5, Facts of Life. Number 4, Chips. Number 3, ABC's Sunday Night Movie, which they were a big deal back then, I think. I kind of get that idea. Number 2 is Heart to Heart. What is the number 1 television show of 1980?
Is it MASH?
No, it's That's Incredible.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's my, never mind. I gotta go back to this here. Top 5 albums of 1980. Number 5, Aerosmith's Greatest Hits, which I gotta say something about that album. I had that album. Not a fan. Because you've heard the song Sweet Emotion.
Yeah.
What's I don't know if you're a fan of that song. Do you care for it?
It's my second favorite Aerosmith song.
What's your favorite part of that song?
Probably the opening.
Exactly. And in that Greatest Hits, they cut it.
Oh, stupid.
So I know, and that's that's why I can't stand that album. They cut it. It's man, that's the best part of the whole thing. Anyway, number 4, Kenny Rogers' Greatest Hits. So Greatest Hits are a big deal in 1980. Barbra Streisand, Guilty is number 3. I cannot pronounce it. High Fidelity, REO Speedwagon is number 2. And what is number 1?
Is it Back in Black?
It is Back in Black. And I'll say, I'm a huge Bon Scott fan, one of my favorite singers of all time. And I don't like Brian Johnson, but I can handle him in that. It doesn't bother that much in that. But it gets real bad. Once they hit 90, it gets real bad.
Everything after Back in Black can go straight to the bin.
Early 80s isn't horrible, but it gets real bad once they hit Thunderstruck. Fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
Thunderstruck and everything else after sounds the exact same. It's We found a formula. We're going with it. That's it. Okay. So 1980. This is a fun time here. We're gonna start with Rookie of the Year. And heads up for everybody, I don't have any. I only have one category with a runner-up. That's it. Okay. I just have winners. The way they did this, I read up on it. I think this is Meltzer and a couple of his buddies doing the awards. I don't think it's like a bunch of people because I just got basically the winners. But anyway, we'll start with me because I want to be the cool guy today. So let's go with me first, and you pick my Rookie of the Year from 1980 in the Wrestling Observer.
Is it Kurt Hennig?
It is Big Bad Barry Windham. And so that's that. And again, no runner-ups. I'll guess Kurt Hennig for you.
It's actually Mr. Terry Taylor.
Okay.
Terry Taylor wins Rookie of the Year with 21,355 votes. First runner-up is Barry Windham with 15,423 votes. Third runner-up is Rick McGraw. Second runner-up, Rick McGraw with 8,477 votes. And third runner-up is Tom Pritchard with 7,994 votes. So a pretty good rookie class, I'd say. And
I'll take Windham obviously over Taylor. But, Taylor had an ability to be really good. He just turned out to be a fucking idiot by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
And just kind of burned his own bridges. I mean, I love how, who is it? Bruce Pritchard tries to argue the Red Rooster gimmick. Like, oh, no, you couldn't make it work. No, you fucking can't. Well, Dusty made polka dots work. They knew who Dusty was, man. Like, people knew who Dusty was. Dusty had been there before.
Red Rooster gimmick work?
Who's that?
Gino Hernandez. Because Bruce Pritchard has said that the Red Rooster gimmick was supposed to be that you were cocky. That you were cocky to walk.
Yeah.
And Taylor, you could tell he just felt that he was being punished.
Well, Taylor didn't have the best reputation either. I mean, from what I heard, he was kind of a dick to begin with when he got in there and thought he was all that. And that whole rumor about him and Hennig going for the perfect angle, that's bullshit, I think. That was meant for Hennig. I mean, you could see that in 86, 87 with Hennig. That'd be a perfect gimmick for him. So I don't believe in that. The second award is going to be Most Improved. Oh, shit. Larry Zbyszko for you?
Good guess. It's actually Tony Atlas. Tony Atlas.
Well, he beat Hogan that year, clean.
Yeah,
that's right. They gave it to him. Yeah.
Well, at that time, who was Hogan?
Well, he wasn't really losing clean much. Like at least on TV, he probably lost.
Who was? I mean, other than like jobbers, I mean, you didn't see a lot of stars losing clean. They may get disqualified or counted out or Tony Atlas wins Most Improved Wrestler of the Year with 17,564 votes. First runner-up is Larry Zbyszko with 16,999 votes. Second runner-up is Ted DiBiase with 13,423 votes. And third runner-up is Kerry Von Erich with 6,821 votes.
Can you guess mine?
Is it Larry Zbyszko?
Yes, fucker. That is definitely, yes, it was Larry, your boy. Larry Zbyszko wins it. No runner-ups because I don't have any. I'll give it to Zbyszko for longevity a bit, I guess. I mean, Atlas kind of like he's pretty much done by like 86, man. Like after that,
I'd say 84.
But I mean,
What's he doing?
Yeah, well, he randomly appears on WrestleMania 2, which is very weird. It's almost like did they just grab him out of Indies or something? Say we need you for this battle royal.
Well, I mean, he was working house shows. I think he was there until like mid 86.
But he and then what Sub Simba fucking man, talk about like you do that shit now, you're getting shut down. Let's put it that way. Well, I mean, not really if he's a face. If he's a heel, you're definitely getting shut down if he's a heel. Piper, I love Piper. Like Piper's shit on the commentary, but he's really funny.
Atlas.
Yeah. Like Vince would say, you fucker, shut up. Okay, so inspirational wrestler. This year we do not have Most Disgusting Tactic. That doesn't come in until 81. Okay. So what you're gonna do is inspirational for you. Most washed up wrestler for me. That's the category. And then
80. Is it Stan Stasiak?
It is not. It's Baron Secluda.
Okay. Yeah.
They don't like it. I don't ever know when he was any good. I don't remember him ever being good to begin with. I mean, he was always. Yeah, this is not. Well, I guess it's only that's really creepy to think it would only be like 10 years out. Give me so for you, inspirational wrestler, I'm gonna go with Bruno.
It's the dog. It's the junkyard dog.
Oh, they did the blinding angle, did they not?
Yeah. So junkyard wins inspirational wrestler of the year. As you can see there, he's got the bandages on his eyes.
Yeah. That's what angles. That's what angles meant something, kids. Not like fucking now, where it's like breaker, like get beat to bloody pulp. The next night you're on Raw, like nothing's happening. Hey, what's going on? I'm happy. Like Cena get his ass kicked the night before, coming smiling. Hey guys, they can't see me. You fucking clown.
So Junkyard Dog wins Inspirational Wrestler of the Year with 21,455 votes. First runner-up is Rick Steamboat with 10,879 votes. Second runner-up is Vern Gagne with 5,811 votes. And third runner-up is Mr. Florida with 5,672 votes.
I love how Vern gets in there. The fuck's Vern doing? Like coming out of retirement the 9th time to make someone lose to him? Come on.
I don't know who Mr. Florida is.
I don't know who it is. That's your choice. Guarantee it, Dusty. I guarantee you it's Dusty. Yeah. I'll put money on it. It's Dusty.
Oh, no. Paul Jones.
Okay. I just knew it was Dusty under a mask because they were all big for Dusty going under a mask. But actually,
and he had another guy, too. I can't remember. He was one of the James boys with Magnum. And there's somebody else, too.
Interesting. Okay, last one before we go to halftime, which could take up a little bit of time. Most popular wrestler. For you, I'm going to go with Bruno again.
Good guess, but it is Mr. Wrestling 2.
Oh, really? Yeah, he was a pretty big. Yeah, he was a pretty big deal back then. That was all with Jimmy Carter and shit like that back then. Got his mother got a picture taken with him, which is
Mr. Wrestling 2 wins Most Popular Wrestler of the Year with 23,500 votes. First runner-up is Dusty Rhodes with 14,322 votes. Second runner-up is Andre the Giant with 12,653 votes. And third runner-up is Bruno Sammartino with 7,995 votes. And also, I just want to say there's no honorable mentions in the sport review, but it does say others get 7,439 votes.
But they don't mention the names. They're like, fuck, we're too lazy to put it down. So we're just going to say others.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Russell, what if you look at this magazine? Don't talk about it yet. We'll talk about it once we're done. Where does it veer more towards? Because you see that a lot.
Honestly, I'm going to say Georgia was probably the territory that they were covering a lot, but also New York. Yeah. So you'd have, like, just as I'm scrolling through the pages and stuff, Wrestler of the Month was Pedro Morales. There's a story here on managers, and it's got, the three wise men. There's also a story here on the Samoans. So it's very New York centric now that I'm looking through it. And then you get into the awards.
What we should do at the end? We'll just wing it. Maybe to kill, because we're gonna go through it pretty quick. We'll do the ratings at the end.
Oh, sure. And I also have something here, but
so Aaron's back from his quick break he had there. Nature call, we think. So let's jump into my best babyface, aka most popular wrestler of 1980.
Is it Bruno Sammartino?
It is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. We have no runner-up because fuck the Observer 1980. I'm pretty sure those are doing runner-ups to 82. I'm pretty sure 81's done the same way. So we're gonna hop into our halftime show, and this is gonna be an interesting halftime show because we got a lot to fucking cover here. We are doing our top 10 movies of 1980 or 80s, top 10 albums, and top 10 television shows of the 1980s. So, excuse me, we're gonna start with. Oh, Andrew went last. I went last, so let Andrew go first. Andrew, start with your top television shows. And hey, before you get into it, honorable mentions come before one.
I didn't have any honorable mentions for TV shows.
Well, if you have any, that comes before one. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm just going to do 10 to 1?
10 to 1.
Okay.
I'll guess your one.
Sure. Okay. Number 10 is Cheers. Number 9 is Night Court. Number 8, Mr. Dress Up. Number 7, Golden Girls. Number 6, Brave Star. Number 5, Muppet Babies. Number 4, Fraggle Rock.
And Andrew was 32 at this time. And he had a lot of people that had eyes on him. They were always watching his house.
I was a person of interest. Number 3, Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling. Number 2, The A-Team. And can you guess my number 1?
Twin Peaks.
No, I never actually watched Twin Peaks. It was Superstars of Wrestling.
Oh, see, you know what, man? I fucked up. I fucked up on my shit.
You didn't put any wrestling.
No, so I'm gonna do this is
because I was tempted to do Saturday's Main Event, but I felt that because it wasn't like a weekly show, I didn't want to kind of be like counting Clash of the Champions.
I just went TV shows, so I'll just go with mine anyway. Number 10, The Cosby Show. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Cosby anymore, but back then I watched The Cosby Show a lot, man. It was a good show. Night Court was number 9. The Wonder Years was number 8. Number 7, hold on a second here. I can't even see when I'm writing this. There we are. Okay, better this way. Number 7 was Who's the Boss, which I fucking hate now, by the way, but I loved it as a kid. Yeah. Roseanne was number 6. And Roseanne was a little tricky because I was more into Roseanne in the 90s, but it did come out in the 80s. Family Ties was number 5. The Golden Girls was number 4. Taxi was number 3. Elf was number 2. And it's not hard to guess my number 1, I don't think.
Is it Cheers?
It's Cheers and Honorable Mentions. I didn't do my Honorable Mentions like I said I was going to do, but it was Cheers number 1. Honorable Mentions 227. Head of the Class. A Different World. I was a big fan of that. And Doogie Howser, MD.
Did you see that Howard Hessman died not too long ago?
Yeah, I did see that. And you know what's I should have put WKRP in there too, actually, because that was in the 80s. But I'll say something interesting about Doogie Howser. I remember watching that as a kid, and in '91 when the Iraq War started, I vividly remember watching that. And they cut out for the Iraq War, and I mean, I'll tell you something, bro. The last fucking couple of days, I've been watching that Ukraine shit like crazy, and that is one badass motherfucker, man, running that place. That's the kind of guy I'm telling you, dude. And I'll get into the movies in a second. That's the kind of cat that if we're in Ukraine and they're like, we can't leave, I'm like, well, this fucker's gonna fight with it. I'll fight. I can't do shit, but give me a gun. If you're gonna, if your president's gonna stand with you and fight, I'd be like, I can't leave. I'm gonna die anyway. Fuck it. Let's go out with a bang. You know what I mean? That guy, like, he's the man. That bro, I like him a lot. So let's hop into movies. Oh my sweet Jesus, my movie list is fucking huge. Do you want me to go first? Because we could be here for a while. Okay. So this is kind of like adult Scott, kid Scott, but more like what I still like. Number 10, Major League, which I love that movie. I don't know how you feel about Major League.
It's one of those movies where I didn't see at the time. I saw it maybe 8 years ago or so on TV.
Movie. Great movie. Well, Wesley Snipes was awesome in it. Number 9, Rocky 4. And P.S. I do like the director's cut a lot. I thought that was pretty cool. Number 8, Weekend at Bernie's. Because Weekend at Bernie's 2 was horrible, but fuck, Weekend at Bernie's was great. And I can still watch it to this day, and I still love it.
It's funny.
Number 7, Caddyshack. Number 6, Ghostbusters. Number 5, Beetlejuice. Number 4, Scrooge with Bill Murray. Number 3, Fletch. Number 2, Raging Bull. Honorable mentions. Go get a drink, kids. I'm going to be here for a while. In no certain order. Adventures in Babysitting. Remember that movie?
Yeah, I remember thinking, oh, this is going to suck. And it was on
great.
CBC. Well, I thought it would be like a girly comedy.
No, it was awesome.
Oh, I know now. Like, I remember watching it on CBC when I would go up country, and we only had CBC, CTV, and CBC French. And I was like, I might as well watch it. And I was like enthralled. It was very action-packed, good adventure movie.
Yes. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Back to the Future Part 2, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Rain Man, Imagine John Lennon, because that is a really, really good John Lennon documentary. And I'm not a big fan. I'm not even a huge fan of Lennon, to be honest. I think he's kind of a dick, but that was a good one. Coming to America, Bull Durham, Big, which I think that's underrated, Wall Street, another very underrated movie coming up, Raising Arizona. That's great. Lethal Weapon, just one's really good. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Weird Science, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Beverly Hills Cop, The Muppets Take Manhattan. This is Spinal Tap, which anyone who hasn't seen This is Spinal Tap, man, I should have put that in my top 10. Trading Places, National Lampoon's Vacation, not European Vacation. That fucking sucks. Horrible. You know my favorite line in Vacation?
No, what was it?
The girl's talking to the other girl. I French kiss. Everyone French kisses. Yeah, Daddy says I'm the best at it. Rocky 3, Pink Floyd The Wall, another movie which is so fucking underrated, and I finally watched it in full, Used Cars.
Oh, okay. I have that on my PVR, so don't tell me anything about it.
I'm not giving it away, but I'm telling you, man, if they made that movie now, no, I'm not giving you spoilers. Take the bet. You're fine. If they made that movie now, it'd be a huge hit. That's all I'll say about it. It's fantastic. And last, The Shining is my last one I'll mention. All right, so for your movies, let's hear it.
Okay, my number 10 is Raising Arizona. 9 is Arthur. 8 is 3 O'Clock High. 7 is Runaway Train. 6 is Full Metal Jacket. 5 is Drugstore Cowboy. 4 is Sid and Nancy. 3 is The Princess Bride. 2 is Blue Velvet. And my honorable mentions are Blood Simple, They Live, Scarface.
Yes, I forgot that. I fucking can I go a little into that? I absolutely fucking hate Scarface with an absolute passion. I fucking hate it. It's awful. Absolutely fucking awful. But go ahead, that's fine for some. Yeah.
I don't mind it because I like Al Pacino.
I love Al Pacino, but he was horrible in the movie. Now let me ask something before we get to the next one. Was Carlito's Way in the 80s or was that in the 90s?
That was 92, I believe.
Okay, because I love Carlito's Way.
93.
Okay, keep going.
The Fly, The King of Comedy, Angel Heart, Ghostbusters, The Shining, The Blues Brothers, Stripes, Batman, and Fletch. And my number 1 is Raging Bull.
Yeah, Raging Bull is fucking.
Which one did you forget?
What's that?
Which one did you forget about?
That was it. No, I'm good.
Oh, I thought when I was reading my honorable mentions, there was something that you were like, oh, I forgot about that one.
Maybe.
Was it Blues Brothers, Stripes?
I'm not a big fan of Blues Brothers. I don't really care for it. But anyway, so we'll jump into music. Top 10. I'll go. Number 9. This is tough. Thriller, Michael Jackson. It is really good. I mean, so I cannot pronounce it. The Police Serenity. I can't pronounce it, but it's a really good album. 8, Purple Rain by the Prince and the Revolution. Number 7, Remain in Light, Talking Heads. Number 6, Scarecrow, John Cougar Mellencamp. Number 5, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. Number 4, The Concert in Central Park, Simon and Garfunkel. Number 3, Master of Puppets, Metallica. Number 2, Guns N' Roses, GNR Lies. Honorable mentions, Batman, Prince. That's what I forgot was Batman, because that's what I was saying, yeah. Rattle and Hum, U2, Green, REM. You're going to laugh at this one. Girls, Motley Crue. That actually is a really good album. That's the only good album they have. Permanent Vacation, Aerosmith. Hysterica, Def Leppard. That was half decent. Well, it's just Kid Scott, too. You got to understand. This isn't all just like adult Scott. Raising Hell, Run DMC. Sports, Huey Lewis and the News. And guess what my number 1 is?
Is it Appetite for Destruction?
No, that was number 5.
Oh, shit. Was it Pink Floyd?
Aerosmith, Pump.
Oh,
man. That's like their and that album is so fucking good. That's it. They suck after that. They get real commercialized, man. But that album
was your favorite Aerosmith album.
What's that?
I thought Get a Grip was your favorite Aerosmith album.
Oh, when I was 13, it might have been, but not now. I fucking. But that album is so kick-ass. I think I put Permanent, yeah. And Permanent Vacation is another one. I know you're not a big Aerosmith guy, but that's very underrated because it kind of like Duelist Lady kind of sucks, but the others was pretty good. So let's go hear yours.
My number 10 is 5-0 by Hank Williams Jr. Number 9, I've Got Something to Say by David Allan Coe. Number 8, Man of Steel, also Hank Williams Jr. Number 7, Thriller, Michael Jackson. Number 6, The Wrestling Album. I wore the shit out of that tape. I had it on cassette and I had the album, the record.
Yeah.
And I remember playing the hell out of it. Although the only song I didn't like on that, and I would always like play with my toys when it was on, was the Hulk theme, where it was.
I didn't mind that. Yeah,
Hulk.
that was the same music for a little bit before they switched to Real American.
Yeah,
late '85. Yeah.
Number 5, High Notes by Hank Williams Jr. Number 4, Lord of the Highway by Joe Eli. Number 3, Pile Driver.
Yeah, I was waiting for that guy. Yeah.
Number 2, Habits Old and New by Hank Williams Jr. And my number 1 album of the 1980s was Guitars, Cadillacs, Etc. by Dwight Yoakam.
I'll tell you that's Wrestling Pile Driver has 2 like kick-ass songs, man. Slit's theme is fucking man. Drive Slow Blow kicks fucking ass. Like,
have you ever heard the original?
Yep, I did. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
That guy also did Grab Them Cakes.
Yep. But Grab Them Cakes was the way it was. They kept it that way. I think they just gave it to Junkyard. But and I mean, even actually, Coco's song wasn't bad. Pile Driver was good. Like, Coco could sing.
Oh, Pile Driver's a great album. Yeah. I like Waking Up Alone. I like Honky Tonk Man song. I even like the group song they did. What's it called again?
I can't remember. You just played Vince's song over and over again, didn't you? Stand Back.
Oh yeah, well, I do like Stand Back too. I mean, everything's great.
You were standing back all the time. We used to be like DX, be in your 50s and make fun of it, man. Like, haha, look at you. Fuck, let's not get into that. But anyway, that was interesting, yeah. And I'll tell you something. I did the 80s movies. I told you this morning. Jesus Christ, man. There was so many. It was just like, all right. But Back to the Future has to be up. It has to be up.
Top 20.
Oh, I could have done a top 50 probably. Back to the Future was definitely my go-to. Because my first time seeing that, bro, I remember that vividly. Seeing that on the movie channel and being just like, whoa.
So I think the first time I saw it was like on ASN Great Movies, if you remember, they used to have that. Yeah. I was surprised Back to the Future Part 2 wasn't your number 1.
Oh, I don't, it's funny as a kid, I watched it a lot. It's just silly. It's not silly. It's like they're on coke.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
But you know what it is? Because the original idea is they tell in the documentary, 2 and 3 are meant to be one movie. But they said, no, fuck that. Like, we're done. It's not Lord of the Rings yet. Like, we want some money. All right. So that was a good time there doing that. Hey, put in your comments, people, what your favorite stuff is. Yeah. And we'll insult you and stuff and talk shit about you. And don't forget, hit like, subscribe, comment. We're going to have in the description links for Pro Wrestling Jeopardy, Facebook and Newsstand versus Newsletter, Newsstand versus Newsletter, Twitter, and our boy, Shooting the Shiznit, Patreon.
Speaking of which, and now time for a commercial.
That is it. Now time for a commercial. Yep. But you're incorrect because we only have to do that once. I just need to cut that one time. So the people think we're fucking handicapped here. I'm going to keep that in there. Oh, there we go. We're getting canceled. It's all over. All right. So let's hop back into it. We're going to jump into Tag Team of the Year. And I think it's Andrew's go. I'm going to go with the Wild Samoans.
It is Jimmy Snuka and Ray Stevens. They win Tag Team of the Year with 19,274 votes. First runner-up are Mr. Wrestling 1 and 2 with 17,266 votes. Second runner-up are the Samoans with 10,338 votes. And third runner-up is Vern Gagne and Mad Dog Vachon with 6,072 votes. And honorable mentions, others are 13,195 votes.
And I'll tell you that Vern Gagne, Mad Dog Vachon tag team sounds fucking brutal to be watching. Yeah. If you're fucking trying to fall asleep. Guess what mine is?
I'm going to say it's also Jimmy Snuka and Ray Stevens.
Let's find it here. It is not. You are incorrect, sir. It is going to be, if I can come back to our stream here. Here we are.
Is it Rick Steamboat? Oh,
Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy. No, Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy, not the Freebirds.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't find a picture of them if my fucking life depended on them together as just the two of them. So that's the best you're getting. I mean, people listen to us don't care, but people watch it like, what the fuck? It's like, that's the way it is. And we have no runner-up. So
who are you giving that to?
I didn't really see any of them, to be honest. I'll go with the art. I'll go with the Observer. I mean, I didn't go with the Observer for best, most popular, did I?
No. Who would you go with for that?
Who's yours again?
Mr. Wrestling 2.
I'll go with Dusty. Yeah, I'll go with Dusty on that one. Okay, so putting right along here, we're gonna go to best heel, most hated wrestler. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. Give me a second. Yes, most hated wrestler for you, Kembatera. Larry. Oh fuck yeah, I should have known that. That was my bad.
Mr. Larry Zbyszko.
Do you still cuddle with that toy at night?
It's my It's the cutest toy. He's got his own little cloth coat. Isn't it cute, Scott?
Yeah, no.
Larry Zbyszko wins most hated wrestler of the year with 32,454 votes. First runner-up is Greg Valentine with 10,535 votes. Second runner-up is Ernie Ladd with 8,666 votes. And third runner-up is Hulk Hogan with 8,432 votes. And others receiving votes totaled 8,270 votes.
People are probably like, who the fuck are these people except for Hogan? Like, no one knows who Ernie Ladd is. I know who Ernie Ladd is, but I don't know who the fuck Ernie Ladd is. But anyway, who is my best heel?
Is it Ken Patera?
It is Larry Zbyszko. Now, that's the thing. I mean, Zbyszko, that was a really big deal back then when he turned heel. And the thing is, I read about it, like, oh, they didn't know it was coming. Like, I seen the build-up. Like, I could see that coming.
I watched the All-Star on the build-up. So it wasn't championship. It was the B show. But it wasn't, like, too much. I think it was only the week before.
Okay.
So, yeah, like, he just he was frustrated, and he like, they even announced it, like, off camera, where it was like, next week we'll have Larry Zbyszko challenging Bruno Sammartino in a exhibition match.
Yeah, and then it goes south from there, kids. It goes south from there. Andrew's still trying to get over it because he's a Larry fan. All right, this one, our match of the year. Guess my match of the year. And we'll talk about it.
Bob Backlund?
Yes, it is. Bob, Texas Deathmatch. Yep. MSG. Yeah, it was good. It was funny watching it because it was still like, it started out just very wrestler-oriented. Well, not really, because I mean, it's almost like, I think it was Backlund goes into the ropes and like Patera Backlund just slaps him in the head and they kind of go back and forth. So wrestle, but the thing is, this is like 1980, so the fans are going absolutely fucking bonkers for the whole thing. They're MSG. I mean, Backlund gets out of a bear hug by elbow and Patera in the place goes crazy. The blade jaws were obvious. They started out with Patera hit Backlund on the floor with a chair, and Backlund rolls under the apron and does the blade, comes up bleeding. Rolls back in the ring, Backlund's hitting him. I like the idea where it's like, okay, you're not breaking in the ropes because you don't have to. There's a spot where you don't break because it's a death match, right? No count out, so they weren't counting him out. Backlund comes back, hits, and the finish was basically beats Patera with a chair like 3 times and pins him. And then Patera doesn't really sell it. Like, he loses, but then he comes right back at Backlund. And they break them up. That's the end. So I'm guessing it's not the end of the feud. Well, that's mine. So for yours, I'm going to guess Larry and Bruno.
Yeah, you're right. Larry and Bruno in the cage.
And that was my runner-up, by the way. That was my runner-up. They have a runner-up for match of the year. Yeah.
So Sammartino versus Zbyszko wins it with 29,544 votes. Oh, I'll tell you in a sec.
Yeah.
First runner-up was Andre versus Hogan with 21,560 votes. Second runner-up was Vern Gagne versus Nick Bockwinkel with 15,812 votes. And third runner-up was Dusty Rhodes versus Bob Backlund with 2,672 votes.
Is that from Japan?
Yeah, New Japan. And honorable mentions total 6,956 votes. I watched Larry versus Bruno, and I think it was my first time watching it in full. I've seen clips before.
So you found it in full because they had it on that on the WWE one on the network.
I just watched on YouTube, and it had no commentary. I think it was from the can't remember if it was 24/7 or their video on demand service.
Wasn't it pretty fast? It wasn't that long. I thought it was a pretty quick match.
18 minutes.
Oh, really? Well, wow. I'm confused. So how was it?
It was pretty good. It was what I liked about it was when it was time to change, because the last match I watched for this was AJ versus Cena, where it was my turn, your turn, with with Bruno and Larry, when it was time to transition, let's say from Bruno who starts kicking Larry's ass, and then Larry gets an opening, and now he goes on offense, and then when Bruno comes back, when Larry tries to escape, he pulls him down. So now Bruno's on offense, and it made sense. Everything they did looked impactful. It was you didn't know any better. You would say, oh, it's just punch and kick, but these are good stomps. These are good punches. If you're going to just do it well, it was double juice. And unlike with yours, you said it was very obvious. I couldn't tell when Larry did it.
I knew back was just like tell. Like the second he went on, I knew he was juicing, but keep going.
Which is a cage match, so they had the reason, throw against a cage and then, you're bleeding.
Yeah.
And Bruno, he did the Dusty Rhodes blade the arm.
Oh, okay.
And I know a lot of people don't like the WWF escape the cage rules matches, but they were made for Bruno because he would kick his opponent's ass and then walk out triumphantly.
Yeah.
That made sense for Bruno. Every other guy that they had a cage match, it made the babyface look weak by trying to escape.
Yeah.
With Bruno, it was, I'm only going to leave after I'm done beating you up. And then Larry goes into business for himself because after the match, he reaches for a handshake. Bruno punches him. Larry goes down, but then he keeps reaching and he raises.
Yeah, he got fired for that, didn't he?
Shortly thereafter, I think he had a house show run at the Spectrum and stuff against Backlund. But
was that like a legit shoot? They tried to shake Bruno's hand.
Well, I mean, you saw Larry's Hall of Fame speech. He worshipped Bruno. I mean, this would have been like for him the ultimate. Like he still talks about his Bruno feud that it made his career, and so I thought that it was a bit of a shoot there that he was. Like, just trying to pay respects to the old man.
Do it backstage. That's all I'll say about that because it fucked him, man. Like, it kind of fucked him because honestly, that feud's over. Cage match, Bruno beats him, gets out, it's done. So, I mean, you're not really fucking yourself, but he probably fucked himself out of some good money. Also,
if he's not going to beat Backlund, you know what happens? You lose, and then you get shuffled down the card. So by leaving when he did, he was able to go to Georgia, AWA, NWA, different territories. Yeah. He's one of he's a guy that came to mind because somebody on Facebook wanted a post. Can you name any wrestler that wrestled for AWA, NWA, and WF during the 80s? Yeah. And Zbyszko was the first one that came to mind.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I'll go with because I didn't watch the Bruno Zbyszko match. I'll go back with Patera. But again, I'm not second guessing that match. I know it was probably really good. But all right. So our next award is I gotta find yours here. Yours is manager of the year. I don't have manager of the year. So I'm gonna go most impressive wrestler. So I'll pick your manager of the year, Captain Louis Albano.
Close. Think of his clone. It's Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
Yeah, he was with in Florida with Sullivan, wasn't he at that time?
Yeah. Oliver Humperdinck wins Manager of the Year with 23,478 votes. First runner-up is Arnold Skoland with 19,530 votes.
That's holy fuck! You win Manager of the Year just by waving? Jesus Christ, dude! That's a fucking easy job.
You mean playing
Skoland had it? Yeah, Skoland had it made. Drink some scotch in the back with fucking Andre and play cards and come out and wave at the crowd and get a big paycheck.
Second runner-up was Captain Lou Albano with 10,541 votes. And third runner-up was Great Mephisto with 7,341 votes. And the funny thing about him, I remember the first job I had when I moved to BC. I was working in this office with the guy across from me, Kip. I mentioned to him that I liked the pro wrestling. And he said, oh, yeah, I remember I used to watch Georgia, Great Mephisto. And that was the guy that came to his head. And it's so funny when people like the first person. I remember my ex. She was at her job and she was telling her coworkers that her boyfriend's a big wrestling fan. And one of the girls like, "Oh, you mean like Rikishi?"
Oh,
you never know who somebody is going to remember.
I dated a girl before, and when she was a kid, her like kids who watched wrestling. Her favorite was the Big Show. I'm like, oh my god, dude, come on! Like, I got to break up with this bitch now. All right. So for me, most impressive. This is a random fucking one, but guess who it is?
In 80.
Yeah, 1980.
Is it Bruiser Brody?
It is Kenny Patera. Most impressive. I guess a strong motherfucker. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's that. And we're almost at the end. But I got a few. After we're done, I actually upload all the pictures for the other awards that I have. So we can. Do you have any predictions or anything for 81?
I don't have any predictions, but I did do a couple of things on my own outside of sports review wrestling because honestly, they don't really have. It's not like a year-end review. It's just the awards, and then everything else is like a regular issue of the magazine, including Where is it here? Apartment wrestling.
Oh, baby girl. 12-year-old Scott looked at that and was going, something's going on in that apartment that doesn't involve wrestling that I'm not seeing. But I'm pretty sure one time I just said, hey, can I order this? Apartment wrestling? It's just wrestling apartments, I swear. Just don't come to my room when I watch it. Don't come near my room. Stay away from it. Like, that's I remember looking at that and obviously, we knew what was going on there. Does anyone know what actually happened? Was it hardcore porn they were doing? Or was it just like girls like making out tits and shit?
Well, the story goes Bill Apter knew these girls and it was his apartment. And they would come up and wrestle and he'd take pictures.
So is Bill getting in on the action halfway through that we don't know about?
Not in the magazines. If it happened, I'm sure it's in his own private collection.
Yeah, and old Billy. Fucking Bill's still alive. God damn, that means he'll live forever. Okay, well, what we'll do is go to Wrestler of the Year, and then after that, maybe we'll jump into the ratings, and I'll go through all my stuff. How's that sound?
Here's some more apartment wrestling shocker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is there a whole article on it?
Oh, yeah. It's not just...
They're like out in Bill for being a pervert. I mean, listen, all the pirates, they're adults. Mm-hmm. It's not like he has like teenagers up there or anything like that. So Wrestler of the Year, and then after that, we'll hop into the ratings and I'll hop into my other awards. All right. So, I'm up first. My Wrestler of the Year is
it Temperature?
Handsome Harley Race wins Wrestler of the Year with no runner-up. That is my Wrestler of the Year. Your Wrestler of the Year, I'm going to go with Big Bad Dusty Rhodes.
It is Bobby Backlund.
Yeah, my boy, Bobby Boy. Woo! There he won something. Bobby Boy should be proud.
He wins Wrestler of the Year with 23,455
and that's
votes.
Not enough. That's not enough votes. It should have been everyone voted for him. Fuck everybody else.
First runner-up is Harley Race with 19,041 votes. Second runner-up is Vern Gagne with 14,765 votes. And third runner-up is Hussein Arab with 8,530 votes. And honorable mentions total 5,463 votes.
So how about we do the ratings? Remember that little thing we do where you name the guys? I picked my favorite one, but keep going.
Yeah, before that, because there was no in memoriam.
Oh, yeah.
I actually went online to find which wrestling personalities we lost in 1980, and that includes Cowboy Luttrell, Tony Ross, Hans Herman, Vic Holbrook, Otto Kuss, and Władysław Talon.
Don't have a fucking clue what any of them are. I have no idea.
And also, I have wrestling personalities who were born in 1980.
And no last name needed, number one.
Yeah, I was born in 1980 along with these fellow wrestling luminaries. Michelle McCool, The Blade from The Butcher and the Blade, Josh Matthews, David Otunga, The Miz, Trevor Murdoch, Wade Barrett, Shayna Baszler, Nick Gage, Christy Hemme, Excalibur, Randy Orton, Dolph Ziggler.
God, Randy Orton, the greatest of all time. Bobby should be proud. Go ahead.
Carl Anderson, Shinsuke Nakamura, Paul London, Claudio Castagnoli, Beth Phoenix, Jillian Hall, Colt Cabana, Tyson Kidd, Trent Acid, and finally Teddy Hart.
Yeah, look at that. Excuse me, I'm just gonna clear my throat there. Interesting, fun. All right, well, you did that. How about I go into my other awards, and then we'll go into ratings at the end. We'll end it that way. Sound good?
Sure.
All right, what is my feud of the year?
Is it Bruno and Larry?
It is Bruno and Larry. My most charismatic wrestler of the year.
Dusty?
Ricky Flair. Ric Flair wins it. No runner-ups, obviously. Best technical wrestler of the year.
Was it Tatsumi Fujinami?
Bobby Backlund! He still likes Backlund at this point. He hates him a couple years later. Best brawler.
Bruiser Brody.
The Bruiser Brody Award. Most overrated. I know who you're going to guess.
Is it Vern Gagne?
No, it is your boy, Mr. Wrestling 2.
Oh.
He does not care for Mr. Wrestling 2 in 1980. And finally, most underrated.
Is it Rick Martel?
The Iron Sheik has seen, what is his name again, Dan?
Hussein Around.
Yes, so that's my 19. So to kind of review both, first off, what was the I didn't pick the best for the between Backlund and Race. So Backlund.
Oh, yeah.
Backlund
You're-
definitely.
Backlund. So the final score, what do you think it is?
I don't know. That's what you're
5-1 for Observer over Sports Review Wrestling.
There
This
we go.
is the
All right.
first time we've ever done sports review for the awards.
So what we'll do now is you can go through the ratings and
Mhm.
do like the name the guys who I prefer.
Yep. So these ratings aren't like they would be later on. This is pretty bare bones. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to name each number from World Wrestling Federation, National Wrestling Alliance, and American Wrestling Association, and you let me know which one you prefer out of those three.
Yeah.
Rick Martel, Jim Brunzell, and Jesse Ventura.
Rick Martel.
Tony Gurria, Terry Funk, and Greg Gagne.
Terry Funk.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not a huge Funk fan, but that's definitely not hard.
Pat Patterson, Ted DiBiase, Tito Santana.
DiBiase.
Stan Hansen. Actually, let me just mark something down here.
Fuck, my cat's a pig. My cat is such a pig.
Stan Hansen, Masked Grappler, Tommy Rich.
Stan Hansen.
Larry Zbyszko, Ken Patera, Adrian Adonis.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
From that time frame or in total?
Career-wise.
I'm gonna go with Adonis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pedro Morales, Dick Slater, Mad Dog Vachon.
Oh, Dick Slater.
Ken Patera, Tony Atlas, Dino Bravo.
I love how he Ken Patera twice, because he's in both companies at the time. Ken Patera.
Yeah, they had him in NWA and WWF. Hulk Hogan, Ricky Steamboat, Big John Studd.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Hogan. Yeah, over Steamboat. Because I mean Steamboat's good, but I don't know, man. Hogan's bigger for me.
Sergeant Slaughter, Dusty Rhodes, Crusher Blackwell.
Slaughter.
Killer Khan, Greg Valentine, Nick Bockwinkel.
Valentine's. I haven't really seen a lot of Bockwinkel stuff. I've seen it, but I've seen way more Valentine stuff.
And finally, Bob Backlund, Harley Race, Vern Gagne.
What kind of questions is that? Kind of obviously my boy Bobby Backlund, #1 all around, baby.
So what promotion do you think you picked the most?
I think NWA.
No, it was WWF. You had you had 6 WWF, you had 4 NWA, and you had 1 AWA.
Fine. Awesome. So what else? That's really all we want to talk about in 1980. I mean, we're kind of out of ideas. We're just winging it, people. But it was fun. Yeah, 1980 is a cool little year. It's way before my fandom. I was way too young. But I really love that little era. Like, man, for me, like, I don't know what it is. It's almost like a fascination. 78, 77, like 80. It's something about them years that, like, catch my mind. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like, everything that's, like, 82. Around it, because I am a Backlund fan. So around 82, Backlund starts really fucking shitting the bricks, man. He has that really good match with Adrian. What's that?
83, he's really bad because they're like giving him Ivan Koloff to wrestle.
Yeah, it's not good. But I mean, he had that match with Adrian in January of 82, which was really good. But after that, he kind of just falls off, and it's hard. It's part on them and part on him too. But I mean, there's like a match I'd love to see, that Flair Backlund match. That's like, I don't know. Well, it's somewheres, but no one knows where it's at. It's like me looking for harness race and stuff. You got anything you want to add to the 1980?
No, it's one of those years where I probably have seen the most All Japan from 80, just from the All Japan Classics. but because I wasn't watching at the time, it could be 79, it could be 81.
Yeah.
It's really tough for me to know. I did watch in my like on the award-winning WWE Network. I did watch All Star Wrestling through the entire year of 1980. All of the other territories, like Mid South, starts in 81. Mid Atlantic also starts in 81. So as far as 80s concerned, I did see a lot of All Star Wrestling. So I saw a lot of nonsense, a lot of squash matches. I mean, they would occasionally have a tag title match, like Samoans against Gurria and Martel, but most of the time it was garbage.
Yeah, like 80 for me. I mean, for me in particular, like that's a very fascinating, like again, 77, 80, even in, like just in general, I'm very fascinated by it. I was born in 78. I think that's how it kind of works with anybody. You're kind of fascinated by the few years after you were born because I don't know what was going on in my life. It's just like I had that guy message me last night say, "Oh yeah, I knew you when you were with your grandfather and father. My grandfather died in early 81. So it's like, wow, you knew me when I was super young."
See, for me, everything before 84 kind of feels like the 70s to me. Like it just has like that aesthetic. And I remember in the 80s, I thought the 70s looked poor. Like everything just looked more dirty, grimy.
Well, you go listen, dude. Not to cut you off. I'll keep going, but I'll tell you before I forget. You want to see bad? Type in YouTube New York News 1980. Just look at that.
Yeah.
Fucking goddamn war zone. It makes fucking Ukraine look like Disney World, man. Like, keep going.
We're full of bright colors and neon and stuff. And when I look back at the 70s, it looked so drab. Now, I love the 70s. I find the 80s aesthetic to be cheesy.
Oh, I'm like, again, I'm looking right directly up at me. I'm looking at a picture from July of 1978 of my grandfather's horse. But I'm not taking it down. But to me, that's the cool, man. Like 70, like we talked before in our pre-production or whatever the fuck we were talking about. And this is a cool thing. And all you say is at the end, it doesn't really involve wrestling. But, you know, we said if you die, and when you die, like, hey, you've been a good person. You haven't done a lot of bad shit. We'll give you 3 different time frames to go back to. You're a ghost. You can't interact with anybody, but you can go wherever you want, like where you're from. You can hang out. You can watch shit, but they don't know you're there. And I said, like, man, 70s, early 80s. I mean, and it's actually, I'll tell you something funny, but I want people to comment below. Like, tell me what you would do. Like, that's a cool little thing. Like, you're a ghost. You can't, like, haunt people and shit. That's not the purpose. It's just you can literally
watch, you observe.
Yeah, and it'd be a lot of fucking fun, man. It'd be a lot of fun. I'm going to tell you something once we get off the air there. I got a funny message a few nights ago. So, don't forget, everybody, subscribe, hit the like button. Hit the notification bell. Every Friday we drop something. Usually, depending on how my computer wants to run, it could be early Friday. Once this guy messaged me like 19 times on Friday before noon, being like, why is something not up? Our 18 subscribers are dying for it.
You gotta promote it, man, during fucking prime time. You drop it like...
Yeah, I drop it 8 o'clock at night. That's prime time, motherfucker. You ever hear prime time TV? That's prime fucking time.
People are on the internet during the day. At night, on a Friday night, they're not.
What are you doing? It's COVID era. Don't know what the fuck are you at? Not going out? Come on. Like, we're dropping our mandates tomorrow. I'm going to go McDonald's like a fat fuck.
Don't fucking follow the rules, man.
When are you guys dropping your mandates over there? Have you got, they haven't told you yet?
No idea.
So you guys are so stuck. Oh, I want McDonald's tomorrow, motherfucker. Get my fat ass full. Well, actually, I had McDonald's for supper, and yeah, I got through the podcast without dying. It was... Yeah. Well, listen, you want to know why I have McDonald's for supper?
Pizza. I'm starving. I haven't ate. Let's end this show. We're done.
Our fucking poor fans. Here, see that people listen. Before we go, look at that guy vaping that cigarette. He's the reason right there why this show's ending. So we thank you for watching Newsstand vs. Newsletter, and we will see you next time.
Beautiful plaque. Okay, the first one is Billy Jack. Billy Jack was voted by all you fans all over the world as the most improved wrestler of the year, and I'd like to give him the plaque right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the man who received over 12,000 votes. 12,000 votes as the most popular wrestler of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the plaque, and now here's the man who won it by your choice, the former World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.